Okay, this one might be a little bit of an ouch for you, but it's kind of an ouch for me too, and I'll explain why. So, this last week, a professor, because we're all teaching remotely via Zoom, realizes at the end of a 2-hour Zoom lecture that he was on mute. Does that sound familiar, David? I mean, not 2 hours, but just a short amount of time. So he's a mathematics university professor, and he discovered the hard way that, quote, silence isn't always golden. He delivers the Zoom lecture for 2 hours. He's at the National University of Singapore. And he soon realized that none of his students heard a word because his mic had been muted the entire time. Wayne calls for questions, and the 20 students who actually stayed connected to the online class, because you'll happen to notice that the students kind of the number drops down throughout an online class, got nothing. I mean, he asked nothing, and they're like, we can't finish the class because we haven't heard a thing. So my own embarrassing experience with this is I usually record my lectures over the top of a PowerPoint via Zoom beforehand, and then upload them so they can listen to them whenever they want. I actually went through an entire hour and a half lecture and realized at the end when I went to play it back that I had not turned my mic on. So it's just basically an hour and a half of me flipping through a PowerPoint slide. So this kind of stuff happens, but unlike, the mods and me who will tell you that you're not being heard, he had no such luck.
Just messing with everybody. I hit the mute button before I started that segment. Yes, that one cuts a little bit to home. I have definitely have had the mute button on more than once, in particular if we have a longer segment or sometimes at the start of the show. And every now and then the fan on the computer that manages the broadcasting, it goes in because the processor is like, I'm in overdrive. And so that fan goes when we're sometimes playing videos, and I'll hit the mute button because I know it'll. And that's the one actually that'll really trip me up, because that is not a normal point for me to hit the mute button, and I'll just roll. But I will swear on my father's grave, the last 2 times we've had mute issues in here were driver issues. It was not me and the button. But yes, that one hurts.